Hello my darlings, I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. I just want to welcome you all to the Winter Wonderland. This is my go-to theme after Halloween. It's kind of a Christmassy winter vibe. I don't like to go too Christmassy because I know some people aren't super into Christmas for whatever reason, or you know, it's religious reasons or what have you, I don't know. So I don't go super Christmassy in this room. It's just more of a like snowy or wintry vibe, which I love so much. I love snow, I love winter. We have all my babies here, they're just chilling. We have some like snowmen over here and what have you. Then we have like a nice little wintry tree. There is a gingerbread man in the back there, if you can see him. I don't know, I love gingerbreads so much. I think they're freaking adorable. I think I have quite a few downstairs out already. Like the rest of my house is very like festive and Christmassy already. I haven't put my tree up yet though. That goes up on December 1st, but I always put out some Christmassy themed stuff as soon as like Halloween's over, you know. I'm very much that person and I don't care, okay? I love it. It's just, oh, it's my favorite time of year, you know, like from January to September my house is boring, okay? There's not very many themed decorations anywhere, you know? So is decorations even a word? But yeah, anyway, welcome to the Winter Wonderland. I hope you're all okay. I'm filming this on the 6th of November and I am probably like the majority of you just confused and perplexed about what's happening in America right now. I know the majority of my audience are American, according to my analytics. I think it's 47% of my audience is America, which is huge. That is a big, huge portion, especially as I am from England, you know, like to have the majority of my audience from America is pretty crazy. Just know I am with you. I am thinking of you because of the results of the election. I think like many of us, we thought it wasn't going to go the way it went. I don't know whether it's because of my algorithm and just, you know, the people I follow. It looked like Kamala was going to win. And it just looked like a sure thing, you know, like why would Trump win again? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I just want to let everyone in America know that I'm thinking of you right now. I obviously don't live in America, but it's a weird thing to say, especially as a Brit, but I love America. Like, I know that sounds very strange, but there's so many things that are great that come from America. There's obviously a lot of problems also, especially now that the president is who he is. I'm just worried for minorities and women and people that are part of the LGBTQIA plus community. You're in for a tough 4 years and it's very scary, and America has a lot of power. So yes, while I am from England and maybe I don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to talking about American politics, American politics affects the whole world, you know. It trickles down into other countries. Anyway, I'm here today to say hi, hello, I'm still alive. Thank you for your patience. As you may know from other videos where I've sat here and talked about my life, I recently had a medical procedure and that's where I've been for the past few weeks. I've been kind of recovering from that. I've had to recover longer than I expected to because I had pre-filmed videos for my downtime and I thought I'd only need a couple of weeks. So I pre-filmed a couple of weeks of videos and then the 2 weeks came and went and I was just like, oh wow, I don't know if I can do my job, and I'm honestly still struggling right now. So let's just do a quick recap in case you aren't aware of what the hell is happening in my life. I'll make it very brief, but I will link a playlist down below to the videos related to what I'm about to talk about, okay? So basically I have a condition called RCPD. There is a long name for it, not going to even attempt to say it. It basically means I can't burp, which doesn't sound that serious, does it? You know, like if I hadn't lived through this my whole life, I would just be like, okay, if someone told me they couldn't burp, you know, I'm like, okay, that's cool, whatever, right? You know, like that doesn't sound that deep. But it has given me a world of problems throughout the whole of my life, and in the past almost 3 years, it's become a chronic illness for me where it has affected me all day, every day. It used to just affect me when I would go out all day, eat, drink, laugh, talk, or what have you, and then I'd start to get my symptoms. But in the past 2 or 3 years, I have had symptoms all day, every day. My life has been miserable. It has not been pleasant. It's been very, very dark for me, and I've tried to soldier on as best as I most possibly can. There's obviously been days where it's been too much for me, but I've been soldiering on. My voice is really struggling. So the symptoms I would get all day, every day is this gurgly noise in my throat. It kind of sounds like a frog or what have you. And it was basically just air being trapped in my throat esophagus area. And it was loud and it was embarrassing. Here's a clip of the noise for those that are interested. Oh my god, that was gnarly. I would get extreme bloating, and I'm not talking about the type of bloating where you've eaten too much. It was like my stomach could not expand any further. That's gonna happen a lot in this video, and I'm not gonna edit it out because I do not care. That was a burp. We'll get to that part in a moment. I had to come out, I'm sorry. Anyway, I've obviously had a procedure to fix it. That's why I'm burping now. Okay. Yeah. And what other symptoms would I get? Oh gosh, there were so many, like just stomach aches all day, every day, breathlessness. Sometimes it felt like I was like suffocating on my own air, like I just couldn't breathe. Oh god, I'd have really painful random hiccups. Like my whole insides would move up and down with these hiccups, like with a diaphragm spasm or whatever a hiccup is. I don't know. It was just painful. It was miserable, and you would never know what it feels like unless you've had this condition, because I can sit here and explain to you just how awful it is, and I don't know if anyone will ever grasp how it feels. You know, like I live with my boyfriend Tom, who is a natural born burper who burps like 30 times a day. Okay, like he burps a lot. And there's been a couple of times here and there where he struggled to get a burp out for whatever reason, like there's some trapped air, and he would sit there and just like complain and be like, oh man, oh, I really need a burp. Or he'd finally burp and he'd be like, oh man, I really needed that. And I'm like, oh wow, really? Imagine how I feel. But yeah, it's been miserable. I've not been having a very live, laugh, love time. And I have, like I said, had this condition my whole life, and there's been times where it's just like ruined days out for me and what have you. And in the past year and a half, I have been actively seeking out treatment for this. And luckily there is a couple of ways you can get treatment for this RCPD. One is in-office Botox, which basically means you go to a ENT specialist and they will inject Botox through your neck into the muscle in your throat that doesn't work, because that's basically all it is. There's a muscle in my throat that does not work. It's as simple as that. And Botox helps kick the muscle into gear and start working the way it should work. It first of all starts by, you know, keeping your throat open. My throat would be Botoxed open. So with the in-office version, there's 2 doses you can have. You can have 50 units and 100 units. I started off with 50 units. It didn't do much of anything. This was in March 2023. So yeah, the first dose I ever had didn't do much of anything. I had a couple of micro burps, but that was about it. And micro burps are just basically little puffs of air. So obviously that was very disappointing. And then in July or June, end of June I think it was, of 2023, I had 100 units in office Botox injected through my neck. This did a little something. I could burp kind of, and I did have some relief, but sometimes it felt like air just could not come out completely, or I was making a burp-like noise, but there was no relief. But because it was progress, I was super happy, super excited. I tried to live my life normally, like a normal person who could burp again. And, you know, there was days where I was having a great time, and there was days where it was miserable because I was still having a lot of my RCPD symptoms. But because I was making progress, I was kind of like, yay, I'm like cured, I'm fine. Yeah, it wasn't good for me because I was, you know, acting as if I was fine, and everyone was like, oh my God, I'm so happy that you're doing well now. And inside I was just like, no, I'm still really, really suffering right now. Anyway, that 100 unit Botox wore off around about February-ish time. It basically wore off while I was in Canada, just before I was in Canada, while I was in Canada. And then like afterwards, I barely burped. I was kind of struggling when I was in Canada. I went to Canada for a week. It was the best trip of my life still, but I was having quite a few of my RCPD symptoms. I couldn't fully enjoy myself. Oh, my voice is struggling. And then I had another 100 units in office May of this year. and that again didn't do much of anything. Like, I could make a burp like noise, but the Botox wore off so quickly. I think I was having this burp like noise for about 2 months, and then not much of anything, and back to square one again. So then I emailed the person who had been doing my throat Botox assistant and said, hey, is there any chance I can have a higher dose? Because the 100 units just isn't working the way I think it should be working. I'm still not feeling full relief. It's not working for a long period of time. I just need a higher dose. And obviously the answer was no, because they just don't do higher than 100 units in office for whatever reason, I don't know. So I was referred to another ENT that does the throat Botox under general anesthetic, and I was aware of this procedure, but I was avoiding it like the plague because the idea of general anesthetic scared me to death. Never wanted to do it in my whole entire life. I wanted to avoid it as much as I most possibly ever could. Obviously, if I ever needed emergency surgery, then I would have done it, but I was avoiding it. You know, elective surgery, no thank you. No. I have anxiety, and one of my biggest anxiety triggers is being out of control of my body, or not having a choice, or not having an option. With general anesthetic, you have no choice. Okay, you're going to sleep whether you like it or not. As soon as it's injected into you, you're going to sleep, and I hated the idea of that, and I literally thought I was going to die. If you watch my previous video where I talk about the fact that I'm having this surgery, you know, I was kind of like freaking out, and the couple of weeks leading up to it, I was freaking out. I barely slept. I was so nervous. I was so anxious. But anyway, I elected to have it, okay? I reached out to this ENT's assistant and managed to book him pretty quickly. My surgery was on October 4th. So the day of the operation had come about, and I was quite honestly terrified for my life, like so dead ass scared. Barely slept at all the night before. I think I had like 2 hours sleep. My admission time was like 7:30 a.m, but I think I got to the hospital at like 7:15. The hospital that I went to was Blackheath Hospital in London, for anyone that cares, or you know, if you are thinking about doing this procedure, that might be helpful for you. But I went with Blackheath, and the doctor, or the ENT that did my procedure's name is Mr. Karagama. But yeah, anyway, so my admission time was at 7:30, but I got there at 7:15, and I walked up to the reception. I'm like, hi, I've got like a surgery, a procedure today. Like, it was so weird. I've never had to do anything like this before. And I had to sign a form that kind of had all my emergency contact details on there and what have you, or I had to put my emergency contact details on there. And like writing that, I was like shaking. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to go home. Like, I don't want to do this. And then I got shown to my room very, very quickly. And it was a very nice, beautiful room. It was very, you know, it was a nice size. There was an ensuite bathroom. You know, like, it was very, very nice. I mean, I expected it to be very nice considering I spent like close to 4K on this already. Yes. This procedure is expensive, especially, you know, for being in the UK. The NHS does not recognise RCPD as a condition whatsoever, so you have to pay out of pocket. I have already spent 6K in total across all the procedures I've had. It's a lot. It's yeah, I've been through a lot physically, financially, and emotionally these past couple of years. Anyway, I got shown to my room, and there was like a lot of very, 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 very nice nurses that were coming in and out and checking my vitals, making sure I got changed into the most obscene outfit, which really wasn't actually an obscene outfit. It was just a hospital gown and some socks and these weird ass knickers. They were literally made out of netting. They were so uncomfortable, but my nether regions got a nice breeze, I guess. And yeah, I had all my vitals checked multiple times throughout the day, and my heart rate every time it was checked was over 100. And this is not me being dramatic. This is Tom telling me it was over 100 because he could see the monitor thing. I wasn't looking. I had no interest in it whatsoever. And Tom isn't one to be dramatic at all or over exaggerate. And it kind of just solidifies just how nervous and anxious I was the whole day. Like, my heart rate did not fall down, I don't think, until I got home. But yeah, one of my other anxiety triggers is hospitals and medical things, needles and all of that. So, you know, I was going through a lot of things mentally on this day, let me tell you. It was a lot. And then what happened after that? So I was still like sitting around in my hospital room, and then I had the anesthesiologist come in and ask me a bunch of like medical questions, obviously, to figure out, you know, what kind of drugs he needs to give me and asked me like medical history and family medical history. Was very, very thorough, and that helped me a lot. It was kind of nerve-wracking, but it was also comforting to know that he obviously took his job seriously. Like, obviously. I brought up the fact that, you know, I'm a emetophobic, which is a fear of throwing up, and I know that some people have very adverse reactions to general anesthetic. So I brought all of that up, and I also brought up the fact that I think my mum had a reaction to something when she had an operation once. I don't know what it was. I couldn't really remember too much. So I was kind of just like, please give me anti-nausea meds, like, just in case. And he was like, yeah, that's cool, that's fine, we'll give you all of that and what have you. So that was very, very reassuring as well, because that was one of the biggest things I was worried about, is the fact that I could possibly throw up afterwards. There's so much going through my freaking brain. And then Mr. Karagama, the ENT, come in, was asking me a bunch of questions, and he seemed very, very knowledgeable about everything, which again was very comforting, because I had been to a doctor before, seeing specialists in RCPD who literally had no idea, no knowledge, nothing. So to talk to someone, a medical professional, who knew everything I was talking about, was like a breath of fresh air. Like, to live that again was amazing, because obviously the first ENT that I saw when I got the in-office Botox was very knowledgeable as well. But to see a second specialist who was very knowledgeable, it was great. It was freaking amazing. And then I think I went downstairs to the operating room around about 9:30 a.m. So I'd only been waiting around for about 2-ish hours. And obviously there was stuff going on, so it didn't really feel like 2 hours. And I got into the lift to go downstairs, and there was these 2 nurses in there, I think, anyway. And they both just looked at me, and one of them was like, oh my gosh, I love your tattoos. And they were being really, really sweet. And then one of them was like, are you cold? Because I was like shivering. I was like, no, I'm not cold. I'm just very, very, very nervous. And they're like, oh, you're gonna be fine, don't worry about it, you'll be fine. Like, everyone else had told me in the weeks leading up to this, but like, people telling me I'm fine just wasn't helping. I was just like, no, I'm gonna die. My brain was just like, you're gonna die, this is the end of it for you, say your goodbyes, like, it's been nice. And then I arrived downstairs, and I walk into this room, and then the anesthesiologist was there, and he was asking me all of these questions while he was putting in the, I don't know what it's called, I forgot the name of it, but the thing that the drip goes in, like how he would inject stuff into me. I forgot the name of it, it's bothering me now. Anyway, he was basically stabbing me with a needle into my hand. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things, this was the worst thing about the whole day, because I don't like needles. I know I'm tattooed, but medical needles freak me out, and this needle was fucking massive. I just looked at it, I went, oh my god, no. I didn't even have time to freak out, because he was distracting me with all these questions. So that was honestly freaking amazing. I was just like, okay, great, thank you so much. But yeah, that really fucking hurt. Like, it really, really hurt. I did not enjoy that at all. And then have cannula. Is it cannula? Anyway, having this like plastic thing hanging out of my hand. Oh, I couldn't look at it. I literally could not look at it. It was disgusting. And then once that had all been done, I kind of hobbled my way into the operating room. And I'd say hobbled because my freaking gown was gaping at the back. I was holding it. I was like, oh my god, everyone can see my fucking ass right now. Mortified, but I'm sure they see it every single bloody day, so they don't give a shit. I gave a shit though. Why? I don't know. And then I was told to lay on the operating table situation and like to adjust and make sure I was in the right position, because obviously they had to go into my mouth, so I had to kind of not hang my head off of the bed, but I had to be right at the top of the bed. So once I kind of settled down and laid in the right position, I was given a warm blanket. It felt like it just come out of a tumble dryer. That was lovely because that operating room was freaking freezing. There must be a reason as to why it has to be a certain temperature, but I was just like, oh my god, it's so cold in here. And I'm a chronic cold girly. I'm always cold. I recently just got an electric blanket, and since I've had it, it's barely been turned off. Like, I'm always cold, okay? Anyway, I laid down, my vitals were taken again. I was hooked up to a heart monitor machine thingy, and then I noticed my heart rate then was freaking sky high, and I was just like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. The anesthesiologist was talking to me and telling me what he's doing and what have you, and then I had Mr. Karagama, my ENT, walk in, and he was like, are you alright, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, thanks. So, yeah, I'm great, I'm wonderful, I'm having the best day of my life right now. And then he said, oh, should I play some music? And I was just like, I don't know, yeah, sure, whatever. And he was like, what kind of music do you like? And I was like, oh, everything. And he said, do you like jazz? And I was like, yeah, I like jazz. I don't mind jazz. Jazz is quite nice. And he was like, okay, well, I'll play some jazz. And then the anesthesiologist said, I'm going to inject some pain meds into you now. And I instantly felt drowsy and sleepy. Like my eyes closed. I was closed. And then he said, okay, I'm going to inject the anesthetic into you now. That was it. I'm not even joking. I was out. There was no countdown, no nothing. I was out like this. I can just imagine the anesthesiologist looking over me being like, oh, okay, then good night. I was not hanging about. I was out for the count. It was so simple, so easy. And I'm kind of sad that I never got to listen to some jazz. And then the next thing I know, I was waking up in recovery. And waking up in recovery was very, very weird because I was like fighting the anesthetic, if that makes any sense. Like, I can't explain it. It's like a sleepiness that you can't resist, but you're not tired. You just like, you can't keep your eyes open. It's very much, you know, like you're definitely drugged basically. And all I really remember from the recovery area is basically someone saying my name. I heard someone go, Lauren, wake up. Come on, Lauren, wake up. And I was just like, no, leave me alone, man. And then I remember opening my eyes at one point and seeing a clock and it said 11 a.m. And then my eyes were closed. And then I remember being transported into the lift because I felt the movement of the lift. You know, like that up feeling. And then I remember coming into my hospital room, seeing Tom, and I waved and was just like, hello, mate. And then I was kind of in and out of it for a little while. It did take me a while to fully, you know, wake up. And I did feel kind of weird for about 2, 3, 4 hours afterwards. Well, for most of the day, I felt a little bit weird after, to be honest. But for the first 2 or 3 hours, I felt very strange. But other than that, I felt fine. I felt so okay. I was so relieved that I didn't die. The only thing that really did hurt was my throat. My throat hurt so bad. It kind of felt like having strep throat. Like it really hurt to swallow and speak and what have you. But all in all, it went okay. Like I lived to tell the tale anyway. And then yeah, I was kind of just like in and out of sleepiness for about 2-3 hours. I had food come out. So before I went and had my operation, surgery, whatever you want to call it, procedure, basically someone come around with a menu. Okay, there was a menu, and I'm not talking like a tiny little menu. Oh no. Bitch. So many options on this menu. So I had picked Caesar salad, but without the chicken because I didn't think I'd be able to swallow the chicken, and I definitely was right. My throat was hurting. So once I had, you know, kind of woken up, someone come around with food and delivered me my Caesar salad, and I ate as much as I most possibly could of that, but I wasn't really that hungry because I was so anxious. And when I'm really, really anxious, I cannot eat. Or I can eat, but not that much. So I tried my best to eat what I could. But yeah, even though I'd gone through the surgery and I'd woken up and I was, you know, okay, I still was very, very anxious. And I think it was just because I was in a hospital setting. And the only time I didn't feel anxious was when I got home. I felt fine when I got home. So yeah, I ate as much of my Caesar salad as I could. And then I really needed a pee, like desperately needed to pee. So Tom, being the amazing angel that he is, he unhooked my little IV bag from the metal pole thing and carried it for me while I, you know, walked to the toilet, sat on the toilet, and he kind of just stood in the bathroom with his back to me holding my bloody IV bag. I was like, oh, bless him. He a real one for that. But once I finished peeing, oh my God, I literally thought I was going to faint. Like I was sitting on the toilet and all of a sudden I felt very, very heavy and woozy. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to pass out on this freaking toilet. Like I definitely got up far too quickly. I should have just waited another hour or so, but I was desperate for a pee, like so desperate. I think it's because I was just super hydrated because beforehand I couldn't eat or drink anything. I think the cut-off time was like 12 a.m. or something like that. So it definitely wasn't because I had been drinking stuff. I think it was the IV bag making me pee. I don't know. I managed to just like get up off of the toilet and just go and lay down. Like I made it, but I didn't think I was going to make it. I legit thought, that's it, I'm gonna faint right now. So again, that was probably another thing that wasn't that pleasant about the whole day. And yeah, I had a couple of nurses come in and check on me here and there afterwards, checking my vitals and all of that stuff. And then I think I ended up being not dispatched, what's the word, not dispatched, discharged. I ended up being discharged around about 3 p.m. or 3:30, something like that. And then the car journey home was kind of interesting. It was like a 2-hour-ish, nearly 2-hour car journey home. And I felt fine. Like the car journey wasn't that bad. I just felt weird, you know, like I just felt very, very spaced out. And again, I was very anxious as well. So I was excited to be home basically. And yeah, I spent the rest of the day on the 4th of October just feeling weird and kind of like, what the hell just happened to me? Like, I've just been under general anesthetic. It took a little while for me to kind of process the whole thing, but the next day I was kind of like over it, you know, like I wasn't anxious anymore. I just had a really sore throat, and my sore throat continued for about 3 days. And yeah, my first burp was basically the night of the surgery. Well, it was more in the morning, like 3 a.m. ish. I decided to sleep downstairs because Tom had gone to bed and what have you, and I was kind of watching TV. I was just chilling, and sometimes I just like to be by myself, especially if I'm processing things, you know. So I kind of just slept downstairs, and I rolled over when I was downstairs, and like a burp fell out. I was just like, oh my god, yay, finally! Which is weird because with my other Botoxes, I'd have to eat or drink to get a burp out. This just come out. I didn't have to do anything. It just come out. I was just like, oh wow, okay, that was kind of strange. I'm not used to that, but all right, I'll take it. The next day, the Saturday, I think it was the Saturday, or it might have been the Sunday. I'm going to say Sunday. I think the Sunday, because the operation was on the Friday. I was just burping. Just burping, like non-stop burping. And it has been like that ever since. And again, I don't have to eat or drink to get a burp out. As you've seen a moment ago, a burp just comes out. I haven't had to drink. I mean, I do have a drink with me, obviously, because I'm talking and my mouth is getting, to be honest, I should take one right now because my mouth is so dry. And yeah, like I've been saying, I've been burping non-stop. I've been burping more than Tom. I have been burping way more than my other Botox doses. Every single burp is, well, I don't want to say every single. I want to say 85% of my burps bring me relief. As in, I can feel the air coming out, I can taste them, which opposed to my other doses where I would say 30%, if that, you know, like there is a huge difference, and I will take it. I will take that 85% relief over the 30% that I've had before. And yeah, since October 4th, I've had a couple of days where I've had my usual RCPD symptoms, but I think that's because my throat is basically Botoxed open. My throat area, all this doesn't close off. It's open all the time. Anytime I talk, eat or drink, I am taking in so much more air than the average person. And sometimes I just cannot burp all of that air out. It's getting so much better. So I have been recording this video for 45 minutes and I have 0 RCPD symptoms. Even before my RCPD got terrible a couple of years ago, I would end every video recording day in misery, even after recording like for 45 minutes, because I could never burp the air out. Well, I've been recording for 45 minutes. I've been burping here and there like that. And I feel fine. Before this video, I recorded another video and I recorded for an hour. I need to pinch myself. This has never been a thing for me, even when I first started doing YouTube, when I would record videos, 2 or 3 videos in a day or what have you. By the end of it, I'd be miserable. I would be in so much pain just from talking. And I want to like sob my eyes out right now, and I'm trying not to. But like the fact that I've been talking for nearly 2 hours today, and I've eaten today as well. Like I had lunch today, and I'll probably eat in a bit because I'm starting to get hungry. My whole life, I've never been able to do this. Like my whole life. Like, it's so stupid that not being able to burp hindered me so much, to the point where I now can function like a normal human being, and I like want to bawl my eyes out because it's fucking amazing. Like, you have no idea how lucky you are if you can talk and eat in the day and not have pain. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, it's insane. So yeah, this Botox is working so much better. It's life-changing, like literally life-changing. I am having some side effects, which I'll talk about in a minute. I don't want to do anything negative yet because I'm in this moment of like, oh my god, it's so amazing. But like on Halloween, I went to an all-day event, like literally all day. I was out of the house from like 10 a.m. and I didn't get back home until after 10 p.m. I was out all day. Before throat Botox, I mean, I would have got 2 hours into the day and been miserable, you know. But with this all day event thing, I was laughing, I was talking, I was eating, I was drinking. There was a moment here and there where I didn't feel 100%. You know, I had some RCPD symptoms for about an hour because I was eating and drinking and laughing and what have you. But it passed so quickly. I've never been out all day and not wanted to come home, lay down and cry my eyes out. That was the first time in my whole life where I've been out all day and felt okay. Like, what the fuck? And I saw Yasmin this past weekend. We went out shopping, we ate something. We ate something towards the end of our day out or what have you, just in case I did feel bad. And I felt fine, I ate something, and then I got on the train home. Normally on the train home from being out for even a little bit, I would be miserable, can't wait to get home. I literally come home, I dropped my stuff off, changed my shoes, okay, and then I went walking back out and I went to do some more shopping because I was like, you know what, I'm still fine. I'm going to go out, I'm going to do some shopping, and I was fine. I would never be able to do that ever. I would normally, you know, after being out for a bit, I'd have to come home, lay down and just, you know, rot for hours afterwards. And then a couple of times the past couple of days, me and Tom have gone out. I've eaten before doing anything, okay, we've eaten out, and then we've gone shopping and I have felt fine. I haven't felt bloated, I haven't had pain, I haven't wanted to go and lay down. I've been like, oh, let's go and walk here and there, do this. Like yesterday, I'd eaten a big meal. We had a girl dinner. We had like pizza, chicken, and like some potato stuff. And then in the evening, I was like, I'm really bored. Let's go out. Let's walk to Tesco and walk around. Never been able to do that in my like life comfortably anyway. And I was fine. I was comfortable. I was having a good time. And it's all of these basic things people do all day, every day, if they're healthy or healthy-ish. And it's insane how much this condition or disorder or whatever you want to call it was holding me back. Like now I feel like I have a whole new lease of life. You know, like you see these divorced couples in their 40s and they all of a sudden have so much energy and they want to go out and they're traveling here, there and everywhere because, you know, they have this whole new freedom in their life. That's me right now. Like, I feel like I'm unstoppable. I want to go out. I want to go traveling. I don't want to be in this house anymore. Like, I want to go out all the freaking time. I'm like, Tom, I'm bored. Let's go out. Because I can. And the fact that I'm not, like, starving. I'm not hungry. I'm not like, oh my God, I have to, like, starve myself for hours. Because obviously food was a big trigger for my RCPD symptom. So I was talking, so I was laughing, to be honest with you. Like, I had a terrible quality of life. I mean, it could be worse, obviously. Like, I'm very aware. And like, all it took was 150 units of Botox injected into a muscle in my throat that just didn't know how to act. And I'm hoping and praying so much that this is the dose that sticks and this is the dose that works for the rest of my life, because I cannot go back to square one again. Like, I swear to God, it will ruin me. So the aim of the game with throat Botox is it like opens your throat muscles, and then as the Botox wears off, you train the muscle to work how it should with the aid of the Botox. And then hopefully once the Botox has worn off, you can still burp. And that is the case for many, 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 many people. And I'm just hoping and praying that I am one of those people. And the thing is that if I have to do it again, I did say previously I won't. This is my last chance. But if I do have to do it again, yes, it's bloody expensive, and yes, it's a lot for me to go through, you know, financially and physically and mentally. I will do it again if I have to, because like, I can't believe the quality of life I have right now. It's insane. Like, I can't get over it. Like, every day I'm pinching myself. I'm like, wait, my stomach doesn't hurt. Wait, my throat isn't making weird noises. Wait, I'm not bloated. Wait, I can eat and actually carry on with my day. And I feel fine. I feel like I can go downstairs, go make myself some dinner, chill out, relax, and not have any pain. And then should I need to do anything after that, I can. Like, I can't. The fact that I have lived the way I had for like 34 years. It's a lot. It's honestly, it's a lot to process, because like, how have I had to live like that for 34 years? And yeah, I could honestly just go on and on and on about how freaking amazing this is. And honestly, if you're watching this, please do not take burping for granted. It sounds so silly, but like, you have no idea how lucky you have all been being able to burp. Like, trust me, like, it's insane. But yeah, like I was saying, I have got some side effects that are normal. It is normal to have side effects post throat Botox because of course you have had something injected into your throat and your throat is paralyzed open or Botox open or whatever you want to call it. My first side effect is slow swallow. It basically means food takes a little while to go down my throat. It started to wear off now a little bit, thank God, but I didn't have it too bad. Some people can have it really, really bad and end up not being able to eat or drink because they end up choking. I don't have that, thankfully. But it just takes a little while for food to go through here. The main triggers of it, to be honest with you, is potato and bread, and I fucking love potato and bread. Anything like super starchy and thick, with a swig of a drink, it's fine. You know, I don't need to panic or worry or anything like that. It's just annoying. It's not super inconvenient. Another thing is my voice struggles so much. This is the most talking I've done in the past month. My voice just feels very, very tired anytime I speak, to be honest with you. Like, this whole region here honestly just feels like it's a little bit on fire. It's a little bit achy. I can't wait to finish this video. Honestly, I really need to rest my voice, but I gotta do my job, and that's the reason why I haven't recorded anything in quite a while, because my voice has been struggling a lot. I also have this other side effect where bubbles this is gonna sound so weird, but this is the only way I can explain it. Basically, air bubbles rise up in my throat and they pop in my throat box area, just like here. I can feel it, and it stops me in my tracks, and it mainly happens when I'm asleep, if I'm laying down. So I haven't actually fallen asleep in my bed for this whole time. One time I've fallen asleep on my bed, one time. But yeah, the majority of this whole month I have been sleeping downstairs on a recliner chair. Thankfully we have a recliner chair, because the more upright I am, the better. And it's kind of helps stop these air bubbles coming up. But if I try to lay down, these air bubbles come up, they pop in the back of my throat or in my throat, and it wakes me up. It was happening every like 20 or so minutes after I'd fallen asleep. So I just thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna sleep in my recliner chair. And that's been my life, basically. You know, like, it's been annoying. I haven't had a decent sleep in a very, very long time. I'm kind of tired, but I'll take it. I will bloody take it. I'm more than happy sleeping in a recliner chair if it gives me the freedom that I'm having right now. You know, like, oh, who cares? I have to sleep in a chair like an old man. I can burp though, who cares? Other side effects that I've had is kind of just like heartburn, acid reflux, which is a very, very common side effect. But it's nothing a bit of Gaviscon can't fix. You know, if it gets too bad, I'll just swig some Gaviscon and I'm back to feeling fine again. Okay, this one might be a bit of a trigger warning. If you're emetophobic, skip this maybe. It's not too detailed. I haven't thrown up, but it's just a bit gross. And if you get grossed out easily, please skip this. Okay, I'll put a timestamp here. Please skip. Okay. Skip. Obviously, as I am training myself to burp, and this is a lot more of a successful dose, I'm having what other normal burpers have. A couple of times I have done sicky burps. And as I'm emetophobic, you'd think I'd be incredibly triggered and freaked out and want to like rip my throat out and never do it again. I don't know why, but I am not fazed by it at all. Like, a sicky burp doesn't bother me at all. If you don't know what a sicky burp is, it's basically like you burp and you regurgitate a little bit into your throat or mouth area. The only one that's bothered me a bit is I have done a sicky burp but pure stomach acid. That one was not fun. It burnt my, like, it went into the back of my like mouth area and it burnt like a bitch. I was like, oh god, that was awful. That I don't want to do that again. And it's only happened one time. Oh, and another thing that is disgusting. I sneezed. My sneezes are quite violent, okay? But I sneezed and then did a little sick in my mouth. I'm burping and laughing, I'm so sorry. And that was obviously just awful. But again, it didn't bother me. As an emetophobic person, you'd think that would be like the end of the world for me. But I was like, oh, that was gross. And I just went about my day. I feel like this is kind of curing my emetophobia. No, it's not. It's really not curing my emetophobia. To be honest, my emetophobic triggers are other people. Like if Tom come home with a stomach bug, girl, no, that's happened once. And it was not pretty. For a week I was freaking out. Like we didn't see each other for a week, even though we lived together. Yeah, so anyway, it's not about that today, okay? But yeah, other than that, I'm really oversharing here. Like, I wasn't actually going to put this information out there because I was like, no one wants to hear this, but like, fuck it, we're all friends, right? Another side effect that I'm having is breathlessness. I call it Botox breath, but basically I get out of breath very quickly, especially when I'm talking. You can probably hear it throughout this video. I do a lot of heavy in-breathing, like that, because I can't catch air. I don't know why, but that's kind of annoying as well. I won't lie to you. And yeah, I don't know. I just get out of breath doing some basic stuff. I mean, I've been having issues with my like heart, chest area anyway. I have a cardiologist appointment in a couple of weeks to talk about all of that. But all I can say is if you're thinking about getting the throat Botox and you have RCPD, I know there's a couple of people that watch me that actually have RCPD, so if you're watching this, all I can say is please do it. Like, it is life-changing when it works. And yeah, I would do it again in a heartbeat if I had to. Like I said, at first, before I had it, I was like, there's no way, I'm never going to do it again. This is my last chance. But now I know how good it is when it actually works properly. Oh my god, like night and day difference. And yeah, so fingers crossed this is the one that works and I continue to live the way I'm living right now. I'm so excited for the fact that the Botox will still be in my throat over Christmas period at least, so I get to enjoy Christmas period and I get to have meals out with people. I won't want to go home afterwards and lay down and, you know, sob, or I don't have to go home prematurely. And, you know, I'm getting there and it's freaking amazing. Like, I'm taking each day as it comes. Obviously I don't want to do too much too quick, but yeah, it's great. And yeah, if you have any questions or queries or anything like that, then please do comment down below and I'll try and help you any way I can with any information that you need if you think you have RCPD or what have you. Oh, one thing I want to talk about, you may know that I used to have a daith piercing here in this ear. Yeah, that's gone. I went to a piercer the day before the procedure, I think it was, or 2 days before, and I swapped the bar out that I had for like an opened one with a screw ball so I could unscrew it easily and then just take it out before the surgery, because I had like one of those seamless rings. I actually have the seamless ring in this ear now because this bit of jewellery, which is BVLA, which was the daith piercing jewellery, was like 200 quid. Sorry, I'm not letting that go, Jesus Christ. So that's in my actual ear now. But yeah, anyway, I swapped the jewellery out, and then after the procedure I couldn't get the jewellery back into my daith piercing hole, and then I tried and tried and tried, and when I got home I tried and tried and tried, and it was not going in, and I didn't want to force it too much because it was really painful. My daith hole was kind of angry for whatever reason. So that's gone. I'm so sorry. Oh, fucking hell. That's another side effect I have. The burps are quite uncontrollable at the moment, but again, I'll take them. But yeah, anyway, my daith piercing is gone. It's no more. I might get it re-pierced, but I'm not in any rush, to be honest with you, because it was a nightmare to heal. And every now and then it would flare up and get a bit angry. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that Hank Green, you may know Hank Green, he is an OG YouTuber. He's been making content for years and years and years. He actually mentioned RCPD in a YouTube video, and a lot of people were, you know, trying to tell me about that, which was really, really freaking amazing. Like, someone with a platform that big talking about this condition that is hardly known. Beautiful. I was so happy to see that.
I don't know what it's called, but like, let's just search for can't burp. Can't burb. Yeah, it's called retrocryopharyngeus dysfunction, or RCPD. It's a muscle. It's a sphincter muscle that sits at the top of the esophagus. It's unable to relax, and as a result, it does not open to allow air to exit the esophagus.
And then he actually took that clip and uploaded it onto Instagram Reels and TikTok, so then I was being tagged in it even more, and a lot more people were, you know, seeing it, and it kind of went viral, and it was so freaking cool. So I just wanted you all to know that I know about it and I love it and it's amazing and it's so freaking cool. In my mind, the more people that talk about this condition, the better, because then more people are aware of it, and then that puts more pressure onto healthcare services to take it more seriously and stop misdiagnosing people with stuff like IBS and all the other things that people get misdiagnosed with. The main symptom of RCPD is you cannot burp. If you cannot burp, chances are you have RCPD. That just needs to be known by every, you know, general practitioner, doctor, and what have you. It will stop so many unnecessary tests that some people have to go through. Oh god. So yeah. Wow, my voice is really struggling right now. But yeah, I'm gonna go now. I just want to say I just want to say thank you so much for being here and listening to me ramble about everything, especially over the past couple of years. As you can probably tell, it's been a big struggle for me. Having a responsibility to make content is basically what's kept me going most days. And I will always be forever grateful. I also will be forever grateful that I have this as a job that is obviously super flexible. You have all been so patient and so lovely with me, especially over the past couple of weeks with me not, uploading or anything. And it's, this job has given me the freedom to be able to seek treatment and just take days when I need to take days. And I will always be so thankful for that. I don't think I'll ever be able to put into words, just how appreciative I am. And I don't want to get too cheesy, but yeah, I don't know where I would be, if this wasn't my job. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. I need to rest my voice. I need to eat something. I am feeling hungry and I'm feeling fine. I can't believe it. I can't believe I've recorded 2 majorly long videos and I'm fine. I'm not in the Ross Geller I'm fine way. I'm actually fine. Minus my voice and my throat. Yeah, that could do some work, but that'll be fine in a couple of months' time when the Botox wears off. Let's just hope I can burp, okay? Alright, I'm gonna go now. Thank you and goodbye.